Good morning. All right. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I am excited for today. This is like my favorite topic of helping people achieve this unique pitch so that it really helps accelerate their business. I just want to take a couple minutes, and as we're waiting for, here we go, as we're waiting for people to come into the room, I'd love to hear where you're from and what it is you do. So if you can in the chat, post for me who you are and where you're from. I'd love to hear from you this morning. I'm from Northeast Pennsylvania. I'm high on the mountaintops of the endless mountain region, and it's absolutely brisk this morning. So tell me who you are and where you're from. What do you do? Take a couple minutes and post in the chat for me. I don't know about you, but having my morning tea gets me ready for the day. We have a caller calling in. If you want to unmute yourself, be happy, feel free to say hi. We have someone that has a title called Test. And then I have someone that looks like they're calling in. I don't know if you can unmute yourself and share with us who you are. And hopefully we'll give it another minute or so, and then we'll get started. Let me share my screen with you all so that you can. So the way that we're going to do this today is I'm going to have a short presentation for you, right? Because the presentations always help everyone has a different style of learning. So we want to be able to talk about what it is that we're going to learn. We want to be able to show you some images that can help you to learn. And then lastly, what we want to be able to do is actually connect with you, talk with you, help you work through how to develop your own pitch. So if you stay with me here till the end, then we're going to give everyone, or as many people as I can, an opportunity where I will work one-on-one with you to help you create your unique pitch, because it's important, right? Hi, Linda. I love the way she spells her name. Welcome to the group. We're just getting started, and I was saying, feel free to put in the chat. In fact, let me get this little chat box up and off to the side here. Feel free to put in the chat who you are, where you're from, what do you do? I want to hear what you do. I'm going to put this down here and this here. So today's title originally was how a 30-second, if you're a startup, right, how a 30-second pitch can help you to generate clients and get your cash flow going. So we altered this a little bit, and I think you'll really appreciate this one. We changed the title up just a tad bit, and this is how to create a pitch that people say yes to, right? So let's get started. Again, we're going to do a short presentation because people need to see, just different styles of learning. And then at the end of the presentation, what I want to be able to do is help you, as many of you that are on the call, to help you develop your pitch that's unique to you. Okay. So first thing is like, okay, so how to create a pitch that people say yes to. Now, my method of putting this together is very, very strong and powerful, and it does get people to say yes. But the interesting thing is that it has nothing to do with who you are. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a few. So there's three things I want you to get from the call today. Is one, a pitch that's unique to you so you can immediately start to use it and generate income for yourself. I want you to feel empowered, right? That you have the confidence and conviction to be able to do what it is that you're doing, and understand how important it is when you're doing this work to be heart-centered, okay? Now, the wish for you today is that you listen to me when I say, Open your mind to the possibility. It's important that you engage with me. And when you engage with me, you're going to get the most out of this presentation. So if I'm asking for something, please, if you can, just pop it in the chat there. It would be awesome. The other thing is that I want you to open your heart and be okay with being vulnerable, because I don't know if you're aware of it, but the one most important thing that every successful person has in common is the ability to be vulnerable, right? Because when we're vulnerable, we're growing. And I hope you feel that this is a safe place for you to do it. I promise you, there's probably nothing I haven't seen or done yet. Already, I guess I should say. That, you know what, if you have, this is a really big challenge for you, that I hope you reach out for help. Later on in the call, we'll give you a link if you want to just have a one-on-one call with either myself or one of our team members. And that finally, the last wish today is that you use this pitch, right? Because people need what it is that you offer. And I want you to have the confidence to go out and have conversations that close. So the one thing I want to start with, and this is key for me across the board in everything that I do, is especially if you know a little bit about me and I play with horses, is that energy is everything. So you can be the best talking salesperson ever, but if your energy doesn't align with what it is that you're doing, your energy is going to push clients away, regardless of how well you try and sell them. So being in the right state of mind is very, very important. I'd like to take a moment and just open your mind to receive what you need to hear today, right? But also connect your heart, right? Connect you to your heart for a moment, because that's where abundance begins to happen. It's where it's everything that we long for and desire. And the way that I do this every morning, right, is to be able to connect with gratitude. So I am exceptionally grateful to have you all here on the call with me today. I'm exceptionally grateful to be able to teach this information to you and be able to work with you. I'm so grateful for, God gave me another day. I have 2 arms, I have 2 legs. Doesn't have to be anything major, but what I'd like, if you can in the chat, take a moment and share with me what you are grateful for. Let's connect with that abundant energy and open up our mind for a moment and be present here, right? If you're coming here and you're here for that presentation, you've seen an email, you've read an email, you saw an ad, you put it on your calendar, you made time to show up. Now you need to make time to make sure you're 100% present so that you can get the most out of this session and you don't miss anything because you're busy doing something else. So I would even encourage you, if you're on, if you don't have your cameras on, to turn your cameras on, because it's also going to help you to be accountable. So if you can take a moment, share in the chat with me. I have it open on my screen. I know you guys can't see it there, but tell me what you are grateful for today, and feel free to share more than one thing. I am grateful for my life and where I am. Just got audio. Amen, Linda. Please share with me where you're from and what you do. I'd love to hear it. And don't be shy. Come on camera with me. I know you guys can't see it on the screen at the moment, but I can see you all on my screen. Ta-da! Anne says, I am grateful for the fall. Yes, my favorite season. Anne, where are you from? What do you do?
I'm from New York. I live in Brooklyn, and
Anne, are you talking?
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are.
Yes.
I can hear you. Where are you from?
All right. I'm from New York.
Beautiful.
I live in Brooklyn, and actually oversee an internship program. So I wanted to share a little more with everyone. It's a cost-free internship program, and we have virtual students that are excited for opportunities. So I am looking to place some of those folks with possibly if you or anybody else was interested.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Let's see, Linda, Texas, she's from, just finishing feeding, heading into to get coffee. All right, so we've got one of our host ladies here. I love it. Jim, I see you on the call. Jim, what are you grateful for today? Oh, Buffalo, New York. I am grateful that our paths have crossed so I can grow as an individual. Amen. I love it. I love it. All right, let's keep going. I want to be respectful of everyone's time, so we're going to keep this within the hour. So I want you to know who this is for, to make sure that your time here on the call with me is obviously is of value. What I teach applies to people that are in the service field. So whatever it is that you offer has to be a service for the benefit of others. And just to give you a couple examples, entrepreneurs, insurance brokers and agents, advisors, that can be financial advisors, it could be health advisors, it could be wherever you may call yourself an advisor, a health coach and a consultant. So people that are in service for the benefit of others. If that's you, well, then you're in the right place. Now, I'm going to give you 100% of what I know already works, because our clients are working it and I work it as well. And they get 100% positive change. Now, is this going to fix everything that may be going on in your business? I want to be honest with you, and no, right? Because there's probably a little bit of a domino effect of things that are going on, but I want to be sure that we can help you get some clarity, get some confidence, get you a pitch that starts to get you immediate action. Now, I know for some of you, you're going to have some questions, and that's okay. Feel free throughout the presentation to pop them in the box, in the chat box. But also, if you're interested and you'd like to dive in, I don't get an opportunity to talk with you, but you'd like to dive in and have a one-on-one call, either with myself or one of our teammates, where we can actually help you a little bit more in depth, then I will also share in the chat with you a link that you can connect with me and get on a call. Now, traditional logical methods of selling, I believe they don't work, right? That logical part, everyone is trying them, and I don't like to be like everybody else. Very often we have people that always say to us, it's challenging to have selling conversations because it feels awkward, or I don't know how to ask for the sale. And part of that is because if we're teaching the old, traditional methods of selling, they're very manipulative and actually self-gratifying. We're actually feeding our ego, which is why it doesn't make selling easy. And what happens is yes, you may start off at the top, right? Looking at the graph, you may come into this and be like, yes, and you start off and you get a whole bunch of sales and you feel really good. And then you have a couple less sales and then a couple less sales. And then after a couple of weeks, you find out you're kind of at the bottom of the barrel. What more and more people want is really to feel heart-centered when they're selling, because when you're heart-centered when you're selling, then it doesn't feel like you're selling. You're actually attracting the people that you want to be able to sell to. So what I believe, though, is that when we are heart-centered, we're talking about being solution-oriented. And using a solution that sells a service is going to help drive clients to you. Now, it's a little bit more of a process because we have to think through, right, what it is that you have to offer is for the benefit of the client. When we think through this process, and you're going to see how I'm going to do this with you in just a few moments, when you can think through that process and understand the solution that you offer, it's a little slower getting started because we have to work on you, right? It's not even, forget about the whole product thing. That's a whole nother situation, but we got to work on you. But then once you get the momentum going, then there's nothing that stops you, right? And you can continue to move forward. It makes it easy to sell. It's easy for people to understand what you do. And what's great is people will start to refer clients to you, and you attract quality clients versus just attracting everyone. Now, when you do this, clients will see value in what it is that you offer. And remember, the value that they see, the more they'll want to have. But if you cannot show them the value and you're doing this traditional way of introducing yourself, like, hey, my name is Gina Yarrish, I'm an accelerator coach, woo-woo, like you're only feeding your own ego. You're telling people who you are, but that doesn't mean, it has nothing to do with what it is that you offer. So when we come up with this pitch, it's solution oriented, and it's very easy to see the value behind what it is that you do, that it makes it easy for us to begin to attract those clients. Make sense so far, everybody? If you could put yes in the chat for me. If not, then feel free to ask a question. Awesome. All right. So now you want people to see value in your pitch, that they feel so dumb if they say no to you. Is that something that you guys would like? Let me rephrase that maybe. You want people to see the value in your pitch, that it makes it, they feel stupid if they say no, right? That's what we want. Yes, you agree with me? All right, so let's work on this pitch. So here's a couple of things that we do in order to help craft the pitch. And, in doing so, I want you to make notes so that when at the end of the call, when we can get on and talk one-on-one together, we can kind of flush this out. So I want you to think about a problem that your client has. And very often, believe it or not, so I know we've got one or two people here on the insurance call, in the insurance industry. I want you to think about, I know in the insurance industry, there's so many different products that you can sell. And so when we come into the industry, what we do is we want to sell all the products, and we introduce ourselves as an insurance salesperson. But the reality of it is, the way that you can go further faster with less effort is if you can just focus on one product for the time being. And I'll give you a quick example. So one of my clients was in the property and casualty field. And he was making about 100 calls a week, 400 calls a month, and only generating about $500,000 worth of income. His goal was that he wanted to be able to generate $20,000 a month in income. But the problem was that he couldn't see how he could do that based on the amount of hours there were in a day. It was impossible for him to get in any more calls. So we wanted to, and this is a very common problem in the industry across the board, is that very often we think about the amount of calls that we have to make in order to get the clients. And I think about it from a perspective of, how can I get my pitch so zeroed in that I show so much value, I can sell the highest product, right? And work with the least amount of clients. So for Mike, this particular gentleman, what he realized was that he loved the trucking industry. And so we figured out, how many policies he would have to sell within a month in order for him to hit his $20,000 a month income goal, which at that time was only 6 policies a month. Now, how many calls was he making? 100 calls a week, right? Now he knows, right? We've already thought through the process. Something here at Yarcourt that we teach is the focus forward technique. And the third step is reverse engineering. So we know how much the income is, $20,000. What's the product that we want to sell that we're really connected to, right? Like maybe he loved the trucks when he was a kid. I mean, it was just something he knew everything about. And so there was so much passion behind it that he could easily talk about it. So that was his life experience. So now he only has to sell 6 policies a month, which depending on your closing rate, for Mike in the beginning, he had to make about 12 or 15 connections a month because his closing rate was about 30 to 40%. And so we've now taken, how many hours do you think it was taking up making 100 calls a week? And how much frustration were you getting, was he getting when he's making all of these calls and getting hangups and getting, nasty comments and people that don't call back? And like, it just doesn't fulfill you in any way. It just becomes extremely draining, and you can't keep like hitting the pavement working. It just doesn't work that way. So by using this pitch, it helps give you the clarity that you need so that people see the value. But I like to parallel it to something that you've experienced, right? So in our field, right, in my field, in coaching and helping entrepreneurs, clients that come to me have a couple of problems. And one being, they love to self-sabotage their success, right? They like to talk themselves out of things. They have fears of selling, and they're reluctant to make calls or have conversation with people, that healthy conversations that they should have, right? But they just don't know how to have them. And because of that, now they're unable to really hit the success level that they want to be able to achieve. So how does this show up in my life? Well, if you knew a little bit about me, I was orphaned as an infant. and I was adopted at a young age. But one of the things that I had a huge problem with was self-sabotage, right? Because everything that I thought I could do, I doubted, because I've always went back and fell back on, well, I can't do that. I was adopted. I can't do that because I was orphaned. I can't. And so it became a little bit of a crutch for me for quite a while. So self-sabotage was a huge part of my life. And so I completely understand how people feel and why they may do what they do, but now I know how to help move people through that. Okay. So I created, this becomes part of who I am because I've gone through it, right? And the second part of it is, what does your client really want? Now, when we think about solution, the one thing you can think about is a dream solution. So I'm going to use insurance as an example. In Mike's case, his problem, the PN's property and casualty gentleman, his problem in the trucking industry is that entrepreneurs are busy building their business. They're busy being out on their road. And the dream solution for them would be to have someone that they could trust, that knew everything they needed to know about the trucking industry, that made sure that they got the best coverage for the least amount of money, right? And they wouldn't have to worry about it. Like, it was another set of eyes and ears on their side. So a dream solution for our clients here at Yarcourt is giving them a simple solution to sales that makes it easy, fun, and lucrative, right? Who doesn't want easy, fun, and lucrative? So it was the same thing with Mike and the PNC, the dream solution that we want to be able to sell them into. What would make their life easier if they didn't have this problem on the table? And then lastly, and I know a lot of people start out with the avatar being first, we put the avatar last, okay? Who has this problem? In my case, entrepreneurs and sales agents that have a service for the benefit of others. Now, hear me when I say that the audience is key, because if we use Mike from property and casualty as an example, he was targeting people that need homeowners and auto policies, right? Property and casualty. So who needs them? Everybody. Well, as long as we're focused on everybody, you get nobody. And the only thing you're doing is trying to feed your own ego. And it's really, it's a horrible feeling. But when we have the ideal audience dialed in that has this problem and wants this solution, now it makes it easy to sell it to that particular person. I'll give you another example. Say, for instance, you're in, and again, I'm just going to stay with the insurance industry for a moment. If you're in the insurance industry and you sell life insurance, okay, no, let me give you another one. Maybe you sell long-term long-term care, okay? If you think about long-term care and the problem that potentially exists out there, and the problem, and this is just an example, one of my clients we went through was her mom or her parents didn't have long-term care. And because they didn't have long-term care, there was a lot of, they were at the mercy of being in a nursing home. That wasn't the best situation. That didn't give them the best care. And it was just a horrific experience for the kids to have to go through. So if you're looking at someone that's middle-aged, and the dream solution is that their children don't have to worry about them in their parents' elder years, well, then who would then have this problem? Would be middle-aged people that obviously have some financial money, right? Because they're going to get a policy that's not, that you're going to want to spend, you're going to want to have the money to be able to spend on some of those upper echelon type policies. So if you look at the world today and said, okay, well, how many people, and even in the United States, is over the age of 45 and is starting to work on estate planning and would be concerned that their children not have to make decisions for them? Okay, if there's 8 billion people in the world, let's say half, 4 billion. Right now we're down to 4 billion people are over the age of 45. Now, what if, right, they were single moms having this problem? So now we've taken that 4 billion down to 1 billion. What if they were single moms earning an income over 100,000 a year, and you only needed 1% of that market, do you know how many clients that would be? We were down to 1 billion, right? That would be like, I think it's 100 million clients. So my point being is that our perception is our reality. We have to change the perception about how we think about who we want to work with, and then dial in that audience, because there are enough people in one specific audience that need what you offer, but they just don't know you offer it yet. Now, in Mike's case, when it comes to the property and casualty, what happened was, because he serviced these people so well, because he was passionate about the trucking industry, after he wrote their business, they came to him and said, hey, Mike, will you take a look at my auto? Will you take a look at my homeowners? You know what? Might as well just take my BOP policy while you're at it and take a look at that too. So instead of trying to sell all these different products or trying to do what everybody else does, right, which wasn't working, we made his pitch very unique to what it was that he loved and he was passionate about. And then the people came back to him and started giving them all of his business. And they started to send all the referrals to Mike. And so how do you think his business grew? Exponentially. In the middle of frigging COVID, he was going to open up another office. So how crazy is that, right? And this is just this is why it's so important that we dial that pitch in based on problem solution, okay? So here's one of my pitches. Hi, my name is Gina Yarrish. I offer a simple solution to sales for entrepreneurs and sales agents that struggle with self-sabotaging themselves, fear conversations, and are reluctant to make calls. Now, this is important, right? Pay attention. So we have our pitch. The one step that you cannot miss is the CTA, which is your call to action. So whenever we're introducing ourselves on a social media platform, at the supermarket, at the doctor's office, you can even make a post on your social media and say, hey, look, I know you know me, but do you really know what it is that I do? Let me share with you what I do. And you put your pitch out there. Unless you give them a CTA, people aren't going to do anything with it. They're going to like it and say, oh, that's great. Look at you. Woo woo. Right? So the CTA for me that I often use is, do you or someone you know need a simple solution? Right? Is it easy for people to say no to that? Heck no, because everybody that I talk to, right, knows somebody in business that's having a problem with sales, and they could easily refer me. Is this making sense to you guys? Pop over in the chat and just give me some feedback of where you are with your thoughts so far. Is it making sense to you? Yes, perfect. I love it. Yes, yes, yes. All right, good. All right, so here's the big thing, okay? I tried to make this so short. We've only got 2 more slides and then we're gonna work together. When we're thinking about being solution-oriented, it shows the value. I've meditated on this for hours about how to come up with this kind of stuff, but the problem, hear me when I say this, connects you, right? You have a better understanding of what your clients' needs are and how they need to be serviced. So it gives you a clear direction on how you're going to help them. When you know the problem they have, it's going to give you the confidence and the positive energy in order to be able to help them as well. Now, we can go on and talk about energy. And like I said earlier on in the presentation, most people can be really great talkers, but if their energy is based around ego, believe it or not, you're going to push energy away from you. And, the greatest example I give is people that, if you think back to your younger years when you were a child, and like if your dad walked in the room, did you have to turn around and look to know your dad was in the room? Right? Probably didn't need to say anything. You just knew, right? There was this energy field. And so when we bring people in to work with us and work with the horses, People will say, no, I've got positive energy, but it's always interesting when they connect with the horses. It has nothing to do with horses itself, and it has everything to do with their energy. So when we get your head, right, your mind thinking about the problem your clients have, it's going to give you the confidence, the clarity, and the positive energy that you need to become heart-centered and serve them. Now, being heart-centered, you're connecting that heart to their problem, and it makes you feel good because now you have that solution, right? It creates this abundant energy that people talk about so that you're able to attract the ones that you want to be able to attract. We do an exercise with horses, and the horses become the client and the product, just as a metaphor. The horses become the client, and the treats that we give them are the product that they offer. And it makes it really, really clear for them to see, like some horses are very food driven, some horses are not food driven, right? So it helps people, give them an experiential experience about why it's important to have that ideal audience. Because if you have a client and all you want to do is sell them a product, right, so that you can make money, I don't know if you've ever had the worst client ever, but they will drag you down, they will drain you, they will want everything for nothing. And you'll make no money from them. You'll be working for pennies on a dollar. So by doing some of the activities that we put together with our horses, it really gives you this experiential emotional connection as to why it's important to have an ideal audience. And then the value, the psychological solution, right? So you're helping them create a dream situation so that it not only makes you feel good, but it makes them feel good. And you build their trust, and you deliver value, and that value is that solution. But you first have to wrap your head around it, so that you have to know the problem the client has, what it is that you offer creates a solution for them. And when you can help put that pitch together, people are going to see it. It's a psychological solution. You're up leveling their life. Okay, it's not about just selling a product. Well, my name is Gina Yarrish. I am an author, a business coach, a horse practitioner, and a speaker. Now, I can go on and tell you all the wonderful things that I've done, that I've read a #1 bestseller, and I've got a family foundation going into its 3rd generation, and I've been a serial entrepreneur, and yada, 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 yada. But what I'd rather share with you is just a quick glimpse of the horses that we work with create that experiential experience that generates a new emotion for you, so that your perception and reality of people, you take it home with you. And the reality of growth is powerful, and there's a new comfort. Let me see if I can explain that a little bit better than what we have here. So when you connect with these horses that are nonverbal communication, most people think that they have to be in their comfort zone in order for them to be successful. And really, you have to be in a growth zone. And being in a growth zone means you have to become uncomfortable. And so creating these fun interactive games creates a new energy and an emotional expression that changes and makes you more comfortable to want to grow more. So when you're going out and you're having conversations with people, you want to have conversations now because you know that it feels good, right? And so the horses help us to teach us different things. And this is just, this activity is called balls in the air, right? Sometimes we don't realize how many hats we're wearing. Well, once we do this activity, you realize, yeah, there's no way you're going to be able to do it. So what do we take away in order to make us more successful? Anyway, all right. So thank you for joining me here. I'm going to stop sharing. And the important part of this is I wanted to be able to connect with you. Let me stop. There we go. And so I'd love to have an opportunity to work one-on-one with you now. Jim, you want to unmute your line? How about if we start working with you first?
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I just was making sure because I have a new microphone, so.
Okay, great.
First time I've used it.
All right, so let's go back to the problem that your clients are having. Do you have an idea?
I would think that possibly I'm not showing them or telling them or offering them the value, because I'm having issues with no shows, and so I'm believing that is a a tendency of them not believing in they probably believe in the product, but they don't see the value yet. I'm not showing them the light of what the product can do for them. And so then they're, oh, it's just the insurance guy. We'll just blow them off, we'll reschedule or something like that.
Yep. Well, let's think about the one. So what particular product do you love the most?
Well, there's two products because we're talking about mortgage protection coverage. So we offer either a term policy or a whole life policy. And probably 9 out of 10 times they'll go with the term policy because it's more affordable and it offers higher coverage.
All right. So let's just stay with me for a second, Jim. Mortgage protection insurance.
Correct.
Which is really like a life insurance policy.
Yes, correct.
Okay. But in order to look at a life insurance policy, people sometimes won't look at it because you may be targeting the wrong audience. Okay. The mortgage protection, who we're gonna go through this a little bit differently. Who do you think needs mortgage protection?
I would say families.
Families. Okay. And why is it important to have that mortgage protection?
Because if, say, the major breadwinner doesn't come home at night because of an accident or something, there is the possibility that they will lose their home.
Okay, so now let's go and ask ourselves the question, what problem do these guys have? I'm thinking, if there's some fear, if ever, to lose their income. Do you think that people worry about that?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. So that's a big problem, right? Maybe they fear loss of so in other words, the loss of do you fear, I'm just thinking, are you a family member or the breadwinner of the family and you fear ever having to lose your job and want nothing more but to protect your family? God forbid you're ever not there. Do you see where I just went with that? Yep. So what did you hear me say?
You're painting, I believe, painting a picture, basically for them to see that what could occur, the fear involved of losing income. And you didn't get too far into it as far as the final results, but they can visualize what the final results would be.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't have to really come out and say, oh, you're going to lose your house and you're going to live in the street. They're going to visualize that themselves.
Right. And so maybe the problem is, maybe you're the breadwinner of the house, or maybe you have a large family with multiple children and you're the main breadwinner in the family when it comes to money. And the problem could be that you stay up nights worrying about your job security. You worry about whether or not, what will happen if you're not there for your family, that it's making you sick to your stomach and you want nothing more to have the peace of mind, know that your family is secured for a minimal amount of money. I didn't say that I offer mortgage protection. I didn't say that I offered life insurance. I don't say that I offer horse assistant learning, which is a methodology that I use, right? But I connected to the problem that people would be having that need this coverage and the solution, right? And the solution, they see you as a solution, but they don't even know what they're going to get yet.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so let's try to come up with one that you feel comfortable about. So there's creating your pitch, right? So so you could say something along the line of you offer, let me think for a moment.
Affordable solutions.
Affordable solutions for parents. So they are for parents
or families. Yeah.
Well, the family's not going to pay for it. The parent is, right?
Oh, correct. Yeah.
So again, as we keep talking and flushing it out, and you and I are going to work even more on this, but you offer affordable solution to parents who fear job insecurity and want to protect their family and want protection for their family.
Correct.
How does that feel to you?
It makes, well, hopefully it makes them want to inquire, okay, so how can we accomplish this?
Mhm. Yep. But how do you feel about, okay, well, if you,
Oh, saying that?
yeah, if you zeroed in on parents, right? You went on social media and say, I know you guys know what I do, but I want you to understand what it is that I do, because this is really important for a lot of parents out there. So if you're a parent, I want you to listen.
Yeah.
I offer solutions for parents who fear job security and want protection for their family. Do you or someone you know need this?
I think that's a very strong statement.
Right? Now, what's the value in that?
That we're going to offer a solution to take care of their family.
Yeah, because what if something happens to one of those family members?
Yeah.
Do you think they'll be more likely to keep that insurance long term?
That's the intention, yes.
But if they don't see the value, then they're not going to connect with you. If they
Correct.
don't see the value, they're not going to keep the insurance. If they don't
Correct.
see the value, yeah, so this is why this is so. I didn't say, how do you normally introduce yourself, James?
Well, it's basically it's the opening line would be is I'm reaching out to you today because you sent in a letter or postcard requesting information for mortgage protection coverage on your home on Main Street. And I'm just calling today to verify some of the information you provided, gather a little bit more.
Click.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So how could we rephrase that now when you get on that call?
Hello, Gina. I'm calling today because you showed some interest in I'm just trying to think.
Connect to the problem first, because
Yeah, I was going to say, as far as connection, as far as your request for information on solving I don't want to.
Okay, go back for a second, take a
I was
breath.
just going to say, because I don't want to, say that there's a problem. I want to be able to paint an image of a problem without using the word, problem. Excuse me.
So go back a second.
Yeah.
Let's take a breath. Let's refocus. So this person calls, they've already inquired about mortgage protection. And now introduce yourself.
Hi, this is James White, Gina. I'm just getting back to you because you had reached out looking for some information, and I'm here to talk to you and see what we can do to assist your family in some very trying times, and offer some solutions that could assist you and giving you peace of mind.
So what you're going to do is you're going to write something down, James. And once we write it down, we're going to make sure we use it over and over again. I don't want you to get on a call having to try to think this through.
Right.
What if we said something along the line of, hi, James, my name is Gina. You actually sent in some information. It looks like you may be concerned about protecting your family. God forbid you've lost your job. Did I use the same thing that I?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I sent in that information. Yes, it has to do with mortgage protection. So are you concerned about protecting your family? Right. Am I having a conversation about their problem?
Not yes and no. Yeah, you are, but you aren't.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to make sure I connect to that problem. Is this a problem? Does this keep you up at night that you worry about it? Actually, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I mean,
and that's what we've been taught, is to get to the why. Get, why did they send it in? Why are they concerned?
But you have to connect to the problem first, James. If you don't connect to the problem, then it doesn't matter the why.
Okay.
Right? Because they could say, well, I was just gathering information. That's BS.
Yeah, right.
That they don't know how to communicate, or they don't trust you yet to have that conversation. And so calling them out in a sense and having a healthy conversation is about, I noticed you sent in the mortgage form and that you obviously are concerned about your family's security, and God forbid anything ever happens. I just
Correct.
want to congratulate you for doing
Yeah.
that. You know, like you're one of few people that understand the importance of protecting their family. How long has this been bothering you?
Hmm.
How soon do you want to get started? How soon is it
Yeah.
important for you to have the right protection? Okay, great. And Jim, you and I can, as we work together, we can
Yeah.
craft an outline of how to have that conversation with them.
Yeah. No, I like that though. I mean, definitely you're sparking their interest and they're like, oh, okay, what's this guy offer? How can he help me? So yeah, I can see that.
Did I talk about me?
No,
Did I talk about all the different products that I have?
no, not at all.
Did I talk about how mortgage protection is going to help them?
Nope, not yet.
Because that's the solution.
Mhm.
Good, awesome. Any questions for me so I can jump on with one other person?
No, go ahead.
Okay, good, great. Was that helpful for you, Jim? Okay.
Very much so. Yes.
Are you going to start using it?
Definitely. I'm going to put pen to paper and write down. You know, I'm going to go back over the recording and listen to it and write down verbatim, and then start using that.
Okay, good. If you'd like to, feel free to send me an email, because Jim, you're one of our clients. You just signed up for our December program, so I'm excited to have you. Feel free to send me the outline in an email, and I'll be happy to, we can kind of go back and forth and tweak it.
Sure.
Okay.
Great plan.
Awesome. Cool. Linda, darling, would you like a little bit of help while you're on the call with me?
Unmute. Okay, I'm here.
Hey, girl.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well today. How are you?
I am good. All my animals are fed and I've had a cup of coffee, so I'm doing great.
Good. All right. Tell me about what you do, Linda.
Okay, we have spoken before. It's been a while, and I have a farm. We've got 100 acres. I've been here for over 40 years. I've gone up and down because of head injuries and accidents and that kind of thing, but I've managed to persevere. And I am now an EAL facilitator with E3A, and I want to get started with a program.
Okay.
So I also have a huge possibility of clients. And what I've been told as I've gone through this journey by a lot of different people is I need to decide who I want to serve. And when I have, it's an excuse, but I think, well, gosh, I have so many to choose from. I can't pick one. I want to help everybody. And so I've been thinking about this. And when I saw what this call was about, I thought I need to call in and see if you can help me. I think I've narrowed it down to first responders, healthcare workers, firemen, policemen, those veterans that see a lot of not very pleasant things, and the horses could really help them deal with that.
Okay, so let me just for a moment. You're doing EAL or EAP?
No, EAL. So
Okay.
it can't be therapy. I don't want to go there, but I'm picking people that possibly could have had it or whatever. So go ahead.
Right. Okay. So first responders, and I mean, that in itself is a great audience. And we know that could be nurses, doctors, firemen, policemen, you know, anyone that's kind of on the front line. Totally.
Right.
Okay. So what's the problem? Like, I want you to dive in and think about the big problem that they have. And I just want to be respectful of time, Linda. I have 5 minutes. So
Okay.
like I said earlier, I'm going to put a link in the chat if we can't finish our call, that you're welcome to jump on a call with me and finish it. And this goes for anybody else that's listening, because we're also streaming Facebook Live. We'll put a link in there so that they can book a call. So, all right, what problem do first responders have?
I would say they have burnout and stress, probably number one.
All right.
Probably understaffing. That's 3 things.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, because we're going to dive a little bit deeper into it. That
Okay.
to me on the surface is the problem. That's not the real problem. Right. And
Okay.
this is what makes us different from anybody else. Okay, is that we want to dive into the real problem. Why are they burnt out?
Probably partly from the job, but probably from things that are happening on in their personal life,
Okay.
dealing with the job.
Okay. What else?
Possibly money, not being able to make ends meet. And some of these people do extra shifts and everything else to try and get through.
Mhm. What about, sometimes they have such a passion to give,
Yeah.
right? They have such a passion to give that they overextend themselves and they don't have healthy boundaries. Could that be a cause of burnout?
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Right? So they give too much. There's no boundaries. They're overextended,
Right.
right? Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. Yeah. Boundaries. Horses are good at teaching boundaries.
Mhm. So we give too much, right? Because that's just where they're, it's just one of their innate characteristics. But why do you think they give too much?
Because they want to, or because it gives back to them. They're not maybe getting something that they need elsewhere. And so the ability to be able to give to other people makes them feel better about themselves.
There you go. We're getting somewhere. Do you see where this is going?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first responders that you want to work with, maybe they feel challenged that they give too much. There's no boundaries. They're overextended. But what they really want is to be loved and respected.
Right.
Right. And so maybe that solution, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's feeling connected to themselves and society. No, it's feeling, I'm trying to think of the right word, feeling, because the reason why they give back is because of what it is that they want. They want to feel whole, right? So maybe the solution is they want to feel whole. They want to feel connected to themselves. They want to feel valued, right? And have a balanced life. So hi,
Right.
my name is Linda Schumann. I work with first responders that are struggling with giving too much, having no boundaries, and they're overextended and want nothing more than to feel whole, feel connected with themselves, and feel valued so that they can live a balanced and happy life. Do you or someone you know need that?
Wow. That's amazing. That says it in a nutshell, doesn't it?
There you go. And look at it. We got 1 minute to go.
Good. That is awesome, Gina. Thank you.
You're welcome. This is just a start. But now, Linda, you see how that pitch it is going to develop everything that now you have to put a program behind it that supports it.
Right.
Right. So the same thing with my program at Yarcourt. So we help people overcome that self-sabotage, those fears, those reluctancies. Now they're having these problems. What do they need? They need clarity. They need boundaries. They need confidence. Those, we like to talk about all of those things, and we're going to give them when they come to the program, but it doesn't become one of our marketing.
Right.
You see, because that's then if you're talking about confidence and clarity and, a way to release and stuff like that, well, that's what everybody else is giving them. And that's really not what you do.
Right.
Make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Beautiful. Any other questions that you have for me?
No, that was very, very good. Very good. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Listen, Linda, if you want, we have horse practitioners. In fact, we have an intern that's coming to this particular program in December. She's actually come to a multitude of our programs and now wants to be an intern to do the same work that I'm doing. So if you feel empowered and you'd like to have a call with me on a professional level about your business, I did put the link in the box if you'd like to have that call with me. I'd love to be able to explore that a little bit more with you.
Okay,
Yeah,
very good.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, Gina.
Oh, you're so welcome. James, I'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for me? No, we're good. All right,
Yep.
perfect. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Thanks for coming, Barb.
Thanks, Gina.
You're welcome, Linda.
Bye-bye.